Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and well, I bring you some disappointing news. Actually, it's not news at this point, it pretty much everyone knows because I'm 2 days late with this video. But well, Battlefield 2042 really isn't good. And this is the video where I basically discuss everything that I felt about Battlefield 2042. Now, before going any further with this, I want to make something absolutely clear. I did not buy this game. I got that 10-hour time trial thing that we have because I have the Game Pass and does the EA Play. And that's how I got the 10 hours of early preview. And that's what I'm basing this on. And now you might say that, hey, 10 hours is not enough to judge a game. I would be inclined to agree with you, except honestly, for this game, I feel 10 hours is way too much to judge this game. Like, the issues that I'm going to talk about are going to be very obvious to you within the first 2 or 3 games. It's not going to take that long. But to be fair, I did play 10 hours. And the one thing that I would say about Battlefield 2042 is that it's a good game. I bet you didn't see that coming. But it is. It honestly is a good experience. But it fails in pretty much everything that it tries to do. The only reason it's fun is because it has some elements of a Battlefield game. And I really love Battlefield games. That's the only reason why I enjoyed myself. And to be fair, I also enjoyed playing the definitive edition of GTA San Andreas. Does that mean that the game was launched in a proper state? Hell no! But I enjoyed it because I love the game that is within there somewhere. And that is why I enjoyed Battlefield 2042. But the facts are that this game fails on many fundamental levels. And in this video, I'm going to discuss all of those levels. But before we go any further, thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't, then, well, consider subscribing to my channel. And also, if you do like the video, then press that like button. It helps me out massively. Like, I don't know if it helps with the algorithm or stuff, but when people like the video, it makes me feel good. So, yeah. And also, since my voice is now back, the content will be more regular. Well, regular as it usually is. I don't know how regular it will be, but I'll try and make it regular. So yeah, subscribe to my channel. But anyway, let's get on to Battlefield 2042. Now, when I played the beta first, and in this particular video, so far, all the footage that you're seeing, none of it is from the beta. It's all from the final build of the game. Now, ever since the beta, I have had many issues with this game, and not just the performance issues, because Battlefield 2042 has a lot of performance issues. Like right now on your screen, you should be able to see I'm running a 4600H, that's a Ryzen 5 4600H. It's a 6-core 12-thread processor, and it cannot maintain 60 FPS to save its life. Like, this game struggles to maintain 60 FPS more than an average gamer struggles to get a girlfriend. Yeah, the performance is terrible. Because, yeah, I'm not saying that my measly 4600H, by the way, it's in no way, shape or form measly. I'm not saying that I should get like 100 FPS or something like that. All I'm asking is for consistency. Like, you will see in the footage, at times, it just randomly drops down to 40s. Like, it is the same scenery. I'm still seeing the same mountain. I'm still running up that mountain. And randomly the FPS starts dropping because the CPU for some reason cannot keep up. And as you can see again on the screen, you can see all of my threads here. So you can see that no particular thread is being overloaded. Like, sometimes, yes, they go up to 90, but they're mostly just chilling out in like 50s and 60s and 70s. And when you look at that, and when you're seeing that, just use the damn thing, you have the opportunity there, but the game simply does not use it. Like, I have a 1660 Ti. Under no circumstance should my CPU be bottlenecking a 1660 Ti. That's all I'm going to say about that. But in this game, it does. The performance genuinely sucks in this game. But there are other issues as well. Like, for the 128 player conquest mode, the new battles that they added in, at first I thought, yeah, that looks like a really good idea. But the more I played through it, the more I realized all they have done here is kind of make sure that the game is too far apart from where you're trying to be. Like at any point of time, like look at the previous Battlefield games. Like you had 5 objectives, A, B, C, D, E maybe. And among those 5 objectives, yes, you needed to travel, but that travel wasn't too long. And the problem here is that there is long stretches in this game where I'm simply just running, or maybe just trying to find a vehicle. Like, yes, the summoning system allows you to get a lot of vehicles, and I'll get to that point later as well. But it's just you are running so much, and especially with the way the squad works, like no one is really bothered about playing in a squad in this game. I mean, I have seen better coordination in pretty much every Battlefield game compared to this one. I don't know why it's suddenly a problem here. Could be because they removed pretty much all of the social communication tools. Like, for some reason, they felt that was necessary. So, teamwork kind of sucks. And more importantly, you can't really discern your teammates from your enemies. I have been in the situation multiple times. Like, I didn't get all of them recorded. I wish I had. I have been in this situation multiple times where an enemy was right beside me, and since like the UI doesn't really kick in unless the enemy is a specific distance from you, there is no way to tell if it's an enemy or a teammate. And I died. Because he realized before me that we are enemies. Like it was a split second, but he realized just before me. And that's the thing that is happening right now. And that is just one of the problems. By removing the classes altogether, what they have done is that these specialists now all look the same. Like on the battlefield, I really cannot tell the difference between the Russian soldiers and the American soldiers. They all look the same. Because they are the same. They are the same characters. Yes, sometimes you hear a slightly different voice line, maybe in a Russian accent instead of an American accent. But that's when that player gets down and he's like, oh, help me out. Or, oh no, don't help me. Whatever that is. Other than that, it's really difficult to kind of tell your teammates from your enemies, and that is terrible design. And coming back to the class system again, by removing the classes, they essentially harmed the game more than they benefited by adding the operators. Because these operators, they are not balanced. They are not bringing anything unique to this game. And I absolutely hate this trend that is going on in the industry right now. It is that make every game the same thing. You don't need to do that. You don't need to take every element from some other game and put that in your game. Just because an element works in a different game doesn't mean it will work in yours. It's a very fairly basic concept that most publishers nowadays seem to miss. Like I've said this about many franchises now, and Battlefield has fallen into the same trap. Battlefield is not the same as an Overwatch or a Rainbow Six Siege. Operators don't make sense in Battlefields. You know what does? Classes. Classes make sense in Battlefield. It worked perfectly. I do not understand why they changed that. More importantly, when you go into the portal mode and you play the Battlefield of the old, you see that the class system is genuinely good. So what's the fucking point here? I don't get it. And now we move on to other flaws, which is, as I've indicated before, the vehicle summoning system. There are way too many vehicles in the game right now. Way too many. And not in the sense that the variety. I don't mind the variety of the vehicles. I mind the amount of vehicles. Like I've had particular scenes in a game, and you can pretty much scour through the internet and you will see this a lot, where there are entire objectives where it's just vehicles. Like there is no one running. There is no one trying to take out the other vehicles by being on your feet. Because if you are someone who is stuck at being on your feet, you will pretty much die immediately. Because there are vehicles coming from your left, right, center, everywhere. Har jagah gadi. And that's terrible. It's not balanced at all. Like DICE did not think this through. That's the first thing I can say about this. Like when I said that there are a lot of negative spaces and you need to sort of drive through them, they really did not think it all the way through. Because what happens in that case is that most people just don't go anywhere. They just stay in their own like sector. So like suppose A is now a combination of three objectives, A1, A2 and A3. Like the map is so big that they have split it into separate zones, and those separate zones have three separate objectives. And now most of these squads are just trying to take this one. So usually when I'm in a squad and say my squad is trying to take D, I have absolutely no motivation to go anywhere else. Like after I've taken D, I'm just going to sit back and defend. I have no motivation to go and say take the F sector or something like that. Which in the previous Battlefield games, the objectives were close enough that you and your teammates could kind of mount an attack on a different objective. Here the objectives are so far apart that by the time you get to that other objective, maybe your own objective that you just conquered is now compromised because someone else came back and took it. And it kind of ruins the flow of the game. So the whole 128 player game mode right now isn't flowing properly. I am sure DICE will be able to fix that. I hope they will be able to fix that. But right now, it's kind of a mess. Now we move on to the other game modes. And I'm going to spend as little time as I can on the hazard mode. Partly because I did not enjoy this game mode. I did not bother to play much of it at all. Like I was having so much fun with Portal. And the main attraction of this game was kind of the 128 player conquests. I just didn't bother with hazard mode at all. And like I played one game, but I just didn't enjoy it. So I'm going to just eliminate that from here. Now we move on to what is the best part of Battlefield 2042, which is Battlefield Portal. Now this is awesome. What it actually does is that it gives you the older games, the older maps, and it allows you to create your own game mode while also making sure that there are custom game modes that DICE themselves have created. Like there is the Battlefield 1942, there's the Battlefield 1942 Conquest, there's I think the Battlefield Bad Company 2 Conquest. I don't remember exactly, I kind of blanking on that, sorry about that. But the thing is, it's fun and people can create their own game modes. Like I was playing what was essentially a team deathmatch. So I played that and that's the footage that you're seeing on the screen right now. Now the performance in this is more consistent, I would say, but it still cannot reach 60 FPS. I don't know why. I have tried it with the new drivers, didn't make a difference. I have no idea what's going on here. And that was after I did the whole chipset driver update, which actually did improve my performance. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with this game. It just will not hit 60 FPS. Yeah, even in Portal, the performance is not ideal, but at least it's fun, right? Because it's the old Battlefield games, it's the old formula, which is tried and tested, which everyone loved in the first place, and which you didn't need to change. The fact that people love Portal so much, instead of the main mode that they are trying to sell, should show you that those were better, that people prefer that, rather than the new sort of hacky innovations that you basically copied from other games. So yeah, that's what I feel about Battlefield 2042. It's potentially a great game. I'm not going to sit here and say that Battlefield 2042 is a bad game. It's potentially an excellent game, but maybe 6-7 months from now, or maybe even a year from now, I do not see this game improving in the near future. Like it's going to take half a year at the very least, because there are some core issues that needs to be sorted by DICE, and only DICE can do that. Only they can listen to feedback and tune things, because I can't do that, and who even cares about me? So all that said, should you buy this game? My answer to that would be no, not right now. Like eventually, yes, even I will buy this game, probably next May or something like that. I will buy this game eventually, because I genuinely enjoyed this game. I love this game because at the end of the day, it's Battlefield and I like Battlefield. But right now, especially with much better games, much better first-person shooter multiplayer games that are out on the market right now, I just cannot recommend Battlefield to you. And when I say much better first-person shooters, I do not mean Call of Duty, I meant Halo. I meant Halo. Obviously, I meant Halo. Let's not talk about Call of Duty. That is some garbage tier game that I don't even want to waste my time on. So yeah, that concludes the video. If you guys liked it, then consider pressing that like button. And now let's talk about some other stuff. Now, recently, the last video that I made was essentially I was trying to do the whole sights and sound series, and after getting some positive feedback, now I have started working on it. And the Assassin's Creed 2 video, it's going to take a while because it's not a straightforward process. Because first, I have to sort of figure out a route. I already have a route in mind. I did do sort of a, you know how in movies they sort of do a pre-viz where they sort of render it in a really low quality, or maybe just sort of go through the motions trying to figure out what they need to do. I have done that. I kind of have a rough idea of what I need to do. I just need to finalize about how I'm going to capture the atmosphere, how I'm going to mix the music, and all of that stuff. So it's going to take a while. It's not going to come out this month. Maybe it will come out near Christmas or something like that. But I'm not sure about that. It may be even next year, depending on what kind of videos I'm trying to make at the moment. But there are a few videos that I am interested in making. One is, of course, the final chapter in the Assassin's Creed ranking videos. So I've already done gameplay, I've done the story bits. Oh yeah, I have done the gameplay, I've done the story bits, and now the only one remaining is the world, the open world and stuff like that. So I will make a video on that, and of course the culmination of all these 3 videos. I will make that, and there are other videos that I am currently working on. So I would kind of want to get through these first. One of them is about obviously the gaming companies and the various things that have come out this year. So that I'm also working on a video essentially on how to improve Assassin's Creed Valhalla, if it is even possible. And then there are things like the most wanted ending. Now, I believe a lot of people might have forgotten that I didn't actually complete my Need for Speed Most Wanted series because I ran into a glitch that essentially prevented me from finishing the game. So I kind of have a workaround for that. I am already on it, and obviously half of the video is already recorded. So there's that. But the other half that is yet to be recorded, that will be done, and that will probably be hopefully next week. So there will also be an NFS Most Wanted review video. So all of that is coming to the channel, and don't worry, there is content coming and it will be more regular now. So all that said, if you're interested in any of that, then subscribe to my channel. And if you're still on the fence, just go to my channel, check out the content that I make. There are some videos that I made, like, I don't know if they're good or bad. So you can go check them out. And if you like it, then subscribe to my channel. And well, all that said, I will leave you guys in peace.